So, you want to learn chess. The Game of Kings, the battle in the 64 squares. There are a lot of ways to start going about that. A lot of ways. And in my humble opinion, you have made a good choice by clicking on this video. It's kind of a miracle you got here, by the way. Because if you type chess into Google and click on a supposedly instructional video, it often ends up looking a little something like this. So we arrive here at a very interesting point, where Bobby Fischer plays the move short castles, which transposes us from the Rogozin variation of the Queen's Gambit declined to the Rogozin variation of the Nimsto Indian defense, which I believe is a more accurate counter to this pawn structure that white has of C, D, and E pawns, C4, D4, E4, because now you're putting pressure on the knight, which is the sole defender of the center. White can never break with E4 or have counterplay with queen to A4 because the king has now been tucked away. And they have very easy development with bishop to E2, bishop D3, or castles bishop D2, breaking the pin and opening up the B file. And honestly, the only thing that black can do to free themselves and have like an okay position after white tries to consolidate their position with the bishops is to maybe develop the bishop to D7 or play C5 and then go knight C6, queen B6 and try to play along the C file with the active queen and maybe bringing a rook over to C1. As anyone with half a brain can see here, we have a drawn position. There's a 2-on-2 on the queen side and a 4-on-4 on the king side with same colored bishops. There's absolutely nothing that either side could do to get anything done here, because the only thing that black can do is possibly take one of the isolated pawns, but the bishop is in fact guarding the a3 pawn, and white is actually trying to make some imbalance. But Bobby Fischer gives him a chance to come back into the game, gives Spassky a chance by playing bishop takes h2. Like, seriously, bishop takes h2 is probably the stupidest move I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, how could a world champion have played this? It's just the dumbest move. Even a chimpanzee could win this position with white now. If anyone would ever consider playing bishop takes h2 in an actual game, they should probably just switch to checkers. No, I'm serious. Like, this move is so bad, I can't even look at it anymore. Get it to hell off my screen. Unbelievable. This, in my opinion, is what turns people away from chess. Certain people, when they get to a certain point in their journey, they become very elitist and treat new players harshly. Because if they know how to play and they got to mastery, why can't you? The teacher, if he can even be called that, didn't even attempt to explain why bishop takes h2 was a bad move. Because such people are apparently unable to understand that people don't know as much as they do. So, I will attempt to simplify it for you and give you a short demonstration of what you will learn on this channel. The reason why bishop takes h2 was a bad move was because Boris Spassky can play pawn to g3. And what this move does is block the bishop from escaping because the pawn is guarded by the other pawn. And what Boris Spassky will do is bring his king over and take the bishop as it's trapped. And the only thing Bobby Fischer can do is throw his flank pawn forward to trade and get 2 pawns for the bishop like this. And now Boris Spassky is completely winning because he has a bishop and Bobby Fischer doesn't, and even though there's more pawns, it's winning for him. And that is what I'm here for. I'm deeply passionate about this game, which leads me to want to teach and give the magic of chess to others who might be turned away by the elitists, one step at a time. A journey is composed of several of those steps, and in order for a teacher to help someone, they need to meet them where they are in their journey and help them understand their own mistakes. After a while of this slow and steady process, you'll be checkmating kings and taking flags in no time. By the way, this game behind me is a game between Grandmasters Garry Kasparov and Veselin Topalov. You may not understand why certain moves are happening, or why they make certain decisions, or you may understand some of them, or most of them. All of these are okay. All this is a snapshot of what you'll be able to achieve in chess. A symphony of pieces, the pinnacle of achievement in this field. Soon, you'll be able to understand things from this game, like up here, where Garry Kasparov plays this counter to the Pirtz defense, played by Topalov, where you play bishop to e3 and queen to d2 to trade the bishop by playing bishop to h6. Or, further down the game, this sacrifice here, which threatens a double rook sacrifice, which, if accepted, leads to a forced checkmate on the side of the board. Or concepts such as this one even later, where white is completely winning because black has a weak king on the bottom of the board, and even though white has a bishop for a rook, they're just winning due to the position of the pieces. Or finally, how this endgame is winning for white, because even though black has a very powerful pawn, it is queen for rook, which is a theoretically winning endgame. But let's be honest for a second, guys. Starting out, those first few games are going to be rough. No matter how good of a teacher I am, you will make many mistakes and might be discouraged. But this is the most important part of the learning process, where the magic truly starts to happen. How do I know, you may ask? Because I was there myself. I was in the dredges of the chess.com ladder, the land of craziness. I could have easily gotten discouraged, but I was drawn to improve due to my love for the game. That is also part of my mission, to spread that same love for the game so that others can have that same experience. Speaking of experience, the game playing right now is one of my very first games on chess.com, my second ever game from February 2021. For some people, it looks similar to the previous game, but for others, it looks different. And most of all, it looks more relatable. I made blunders in this game, you made blunders in your last game. But with some practice and a good teacher, the second of which I humbly hope to provide, we can strive to become less like this game and more like the last one. And with that, I'm the amazing Haley, the genderfluid chess teacher, and welcome to your chess journey. Strap in and enjoy the ride.